It is recording now. Okay, so this is gonna be Safe Space episode 6. I have a very good friend, the guy who beat me first time at Beast of Burden, last chance qualifier for ASM, Big Mac, and his name is Macaulay Tinker. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But if you have been part of Strongman's for last 3 years, you know who Big Mac is. The guy with the smile, the guy with like jacked ass body with a lot of tattoos, makes me want to gay a little bit for him. That's who Big Mac is. Sorry, Tash. uh, Mac, introduce yourself. Go.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the introduction. Morning. I suppose that's me, and you nailed it. Macaulay Tinker is the name, commonly referred to as Big Mac in the strongman community, which is it's kind of wanky, but it's very fitting. When for those of you who have met me, or those that have seen me around contests or gyms or shows, whatever. I am 6.5 feet tall and about 140, 150 kilos depending on the day. So I've been doing it for a while, the strongman game. You mentioned 3 years, and it's funny because one of the other boys from down in the South Coast also said something to that tune. He said, wow, you really came out of nowhere, which is kind of it's humbling, but I also appreciated it because I've been competing in strongman competitions since November of 2016.
Oh wow.
So we're actually coming up to 7.5, 8 years now.
Oh wow.
And it's not like I've been dormant for any of that time. Within that
Hey
space
Tash.
of time.
Hi, how are you?
Guys, this is Tash, Mac's partner.
Hi, sorry, just bring coffee.
Thank you, Tash.
The woman behind the man.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just reloaded me. Since 2016, I've been fairly active and competed across, just over 50 competitions now. So I've been around, but I'm 31 now, as of the other week, a couple of weeks ago. Currently, I hold the title of the strongest man in New South Wales. And I also hold the title of the third strongest man in Australia, pending what happens in the next 5 weeks.
Pending, he's gonna go up. That's
obviously I'd love to improve that position, but we've got a lot of big hungry boys in the division that are going to be keen for a top spot as well, and very deserving. So.
How do you feel about the lineup?
I am excited, man. I just got chills, dude.
Yep.
I'm excited. I thought that last year was the biggest year that I'd ever witnessed. Yet again, been a part of in Australia's strongest man history. And this year, it just looks like the stakes are even higher. The quality of contenders is fantastic. We have returning Australia's strongest man champions. We have international strongman competitors. We have incredible debutantes, including yourself.
Yeah.
But not limited to yourself. We've got them across the board. We've got some fantastic boys. I think even BJ Stone coming in for his debut this year. This Adam Fulgrave that I'm seeing a lot of from over on the West Coast.
Yep.
Among many. I'm very excited. I'm really, really, really keen for the division this year.
How do you feel about events?
I beg your pardon?
How do you feel about events? Like 8 events?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good. Yeah, more in history, more events and more days suit me very well.
Okay.
I love long competition. You want to do 8? Sweet. You want to do 10? Great. You want to do 12? Let's go. I love it. In terms of the event selection, I love everything except the Zercher.
Except the Zercher. I actually like Zercher.
Yeah. Look,
it's going
just,
well.
Look, it's fun for us to do, and it's been fun to train, and it's just a bit whatever. You know, like we've got some really cool events. You know, the max log. You know, the stone deadlift, the calf lip, the flag hoist. You know, the stone series at the end. There's farmers. You know, some real favorites there, and then the Zercher just kind of, I don't know, just from like a spectating perspective, just kind of missed the mark, in my opinion. You know, it was a real good opportunity to put something else that would be a real spectacle, you know.
What would you put?
Yeah, look, something like even I hate to say it, but even have that heavy yoke that they had back at Holsfaller back in the rotation, you know, that big timber yoke that I think is just sitting there collecting dust out the back of Penrith, or you know, some kind of carry and load medley would be fun in that amphitheater, or you know, like another. We competed in this event back when we had the Sydney Strongman Classic last year, and the final event was a stone to shoulder, but it was shouldering stones closer and closer towards the audience. So it was actually this fantastic spectacle. So, you know, something like that, maybe with stones or with sandbags or something, could be, you know, kind of like they have in OSG, would be amazing. But, you know, Zercher it is. I don't make the rules, I just play by them.
Zercher it is. Nah, that's exciting. I saw middleweights last weekend, and the flag hoist, everyone struggled a little bit. It is a tall person's game, apparently, and it's I don't know what I feel about it. I've tried it at Coco's yesterday. He made a replica, and look, if you're explosive, you got this. If you're not explosive, you're gonna struggle, especially in the top end when you're trying to move your hands a little bit. You're gonna struggle. Like Ben McLean, he done so well. He destroyed the flag race, and he's from Coco's, and that's what he's been doing. Yeah.
Copy.
Yeah.
Look, I think obviously it's a very unique event that you're very fortunate to have over there at Coco's, and I think obviously everyone who trained there is going to have a significant advantage.
Yep.
Personally, I've opted to not train it at all.
Yeah.
And it's for two reasons. The first reason was because I did have a bit of an upset bicep back in January. I actually managed to tear a 35 mil tear through the proximal head of the bicep, which has come good, but just loading in that pattern was still going to be fairly stressful on the bicep and on the body. That was one thing. But the second thing was, I think specificity is king here, and I saw a lot of competitors, particularly in like the middleweights in the 90s and the 105s for the men's, training it in their gym with some kind of apparatus attached to a landmine attachment. So whether it be like a barbell or an axle, I even saw, I think maybe it was Harley Hughes at one point, rig up like an 8-inch log.
Megan Clark.
There we go.
Yep.
But I just think that, yes, maybe the movement could be similar, but because the flag hoist is such a long implement and it's so unique, potentially you could be picking up poor habits if training with only a 2-meter barbell, where, you know, the flag hoist is potentially 4 meters. Testing.
Sorry, my headset died. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Are you good? Do you need to charge up or anything?
No, I just spared battery. It just
okay, cool.
Changed the batteries, yeah.
Look, I was just saying, in terms of specificity, I think people could have potentially been picking up bad habits training with 2-meter long barbells or axles or 8-inch logs, where in actual fact, when we get there on the day, it's going to be different. You know, the flag hoists, they look like they're about 4 meters long, the actual poles themselves. So, you know, I just kind of, I ruled it out personally, but it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I haven't trained for it. Like, my coach ruled it out straight away. She's like, you're not training for this. This is just on the day.
Yeah.
Just like you. And she's not training herself either. I just was there doing log, and I was like, oh, this might be fun. Let's just have a look.
Yeah, cool.
And Stone Series, I am very excited.
Of course you are.
I am very excited. You know why? Because
I think I know why. You and I have maybe had a conversation, and I think I know why.
Yeah, go on. Why?
No, look, I remember back in Beasts in January when I came up for the show at Coco's. I remember you said you were sitting on something sneaky. You were sitting on something sneaky in the gym, like a 250 stone.
Yep.
And I remember you told me that you were, look, it's out there now, cat's out of the bag.
Yep.
You said you were heading in late at night when no one was around and you were training stones like a madman. And from memory, you told me you loaded a 250 stone, and you also said, and you might have to correct me here, you said you loaded a 210 stone for a set of 7.
241 stone that was at Steel and Stone. That one, the 251 is 241. We didn't have a 250. 241 kilo stone.
Huh?
And the 210 was 6 reps. Yeah.
Hey, in anyone's language,
Yeah.
that's still, they are fantastic lifts.
Yeah. So reason I'm
So
excited
that's why
is
you're looking forward to the stone.
no, yes and no. It's my favorite event. The reason I'm looking forward to that is because just like Queensland's, Coco said nobody's gonna finish. Did you know what happened at Queensland?
Talk to me.
Coco, when they were bringing out stones, and this is when I was trading late night. Same thing. Don't want to put numbers out. La da da da. Playing mind games, right? Coco, they were bringing stones, and Coco's like, nobody's going more than 210. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, you kidding me? I'm like, okay, because a day before I posted, I was like, I just said, I'm like, felt cute, might break the Australian record later. And Coco asked me what stone did I do, and I was like, oh, just 180, and it was clearly 230. And so Coco's like, nobody's gonna go more than 210 because we just come out of like deadlift ladder, medley for 300 for reps, and then max log strict press. So everyone's like back's cooked, and then Coco's like, nah, and I'm like looking at him, I'm like, how do I tell him? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything if I can't back up my bullshit. And we ended up doing 230. And now Coco said it again that nobody's going to be able to load that 210 stone at the end of 2 days, which is fair. It's a big ask. It's a very heavy series. And especially jumping from 190 to 210, that'll be tricky. But then again, I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to be the one. I think, and I don't know anyone's stones because people don't post their stones much often in trading. I haven't seen many, and I don't follow many people. Obviously, you, BJ, because I get in my own head. Like I start comparing, and it's not healthy for me. So what I'll do is like I'll just go AWOL for a while, and I'll obviously post my videos, and that's it. But I haven't seen anyone do other than BJ do more than 200 stone. I haven't. People may have done it. They just haven't posted it, so haven't seen it. And asking for that, and like even the middleweights guys, I was hoping Ben will get 200 because I've seen Ben do stones. He couldn't get more than 180. So it is a big ask, and whoever does it will be holding a record as well because that's going to be AS record.
Yeah, look, it's lifting big stones is one thing, and again, I'm not speaking from personal experience here, by the way. Lifting big stones must be one thing. Lifting big stones at the end of a series must be another.
Yep.
Lifting big stones at the end of a series on the last event of a 2-day national contest, that's a different game. So if you or if anyone else loads that 210, I will be horny.
Yep, Dad, I want to make you horny. Don't worry. Sorry, Dash. Let's go. I got my card in.
Mate, hats off. I'll be stoked to see that.
I'll give it my all because I've opened my mouth and I said posted it online that I want to go for 250, 60 stone at LDS, and so I have to back up my bullshit. But that's what I'm doing. I'm doing series in the training, and then I'll do a heavy double, because it's only 4 weeks after ASM is the other comp, so I don't have time to fuck around with stones anymore.
Is it only 4 weeks between ASM and LDS?
Yeah, LDS 4 weeks, 4.5 half-ish week. Because
you'll come out, you'll kind of deload, and then just straight back into
stones. Yeah.
Taper.
I'm thinking if Mason will let me. Like I think Mason loves. He's always on the idea you have to do every single event to hold a record. That's what he agrees with. So I was thinking if I don't have to do deadlift and log, but if I have to, I have to. End of story. No excuses. But I will ask him. I haven't asked him the question. But I know he likes the whole as a part of a competition, not just special lift, come in and do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Which is fair.
Which is fair.
Totally fair.
As long as it's a rule, it's a rule. End of story. We can't cry about it. And at the end of the day, go and get shit done.
Yeah.
That's it.
So then if that's the case, talk numbers to me. So let's just park ASM just for a second. Side mission, LDS. Talk numbers to me. Log dead stone. In an ideal world.
I would like to pull 350 deadlift.
Mhm.
without a suit. We did our numbers the other day for reps. I was doing 305 for reps,
Mhm.
and Nicole said that puts your raw deadlift to 354.
What'd you hit?
I hit 305 for 6 reps,
Nice.
and that was in one set, and then obviously another set and another set. So 3 to 3 sets. But I know, again, like you said, repetitions versus single is completely different. I've never lifted 350 before. I've only
Mhm.
done 340. So ideally 350 without a prep. Obviously ASN prep. 350 will be great.
Mhm.
Log 150/60 will be 155 at the moment with my shoulder. 155 will be ideal.
Mhm.
Just pushing on the day.
You having some
And
dramas
then,
with your shoulder?
yeah,
Okay.
it's clicking. It's clicking
Left
really
shoulder,
bad.
right shoulder.
Right shoulder,
Is
dominant.
that
I
your?
think it's because of Monster Dumbbell.
Is that? I was gonna say, is that your dumbbell shoulder, bro?
It's my dumbbell shoulder.
Everyone's dumbbell arm just falls to shit, man.
There's so much pressing to do. That's the thing. There's so much, and we only have 4 days to do it in. Like,
Yeah.
how do you distribute the load? And we are trying our best. And it's I think it's called PRP injection or something. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. And then obviously stone. I would love a 260 stone. I
Mm.
know Seal and Stone's got up to 300, so we'll see what we can cook up in that 4 weeks.
Mhm.
And because the last session will be 10 days out of the log deadlift, whatever I hit, that's it. And we'll aim for 10 kilos heavier on the day.
Mhm.
So if I can hit 260 in training, I know 270 is there on the
Mm.
day, and that is put me to very close to world record. And
Mm.
maybe next year,
Mm.
if Tom doesn't go and do it anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah, so maybe next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cool. Exciting, man. Very
Um,
exciting.
I am very excited for that. I am. But then, yeah. Oh, did you? Did Max get you invite to Canberra show, the Highlander,
Uh,
the
not
stone
the
lifting?
not the Canberra. It's not the Canberra show. That's
Oh, okay.
Bundanoon.
Yeah, that one.
Bundanoon. So Bundanoon is I suppose it's South Coast. I suppose it's kind of like Bundanoon's kind of halfway between me and Canberra. I'm in Sydney.
Right. Okay.
So it is south. It's the week before ASM. Nah. So I got an invite from that because I competed in Bundanoon last year.
Yep.
I got an invite for that from the boys who run it.
Yep.
To throw.
Yep.
But man, even for my standards, like
Yeah.
the sensible thing to do is to decline the invitation and stay focused on the main goal. So yeah, I turned it down. Don't fucking tell me you're traveling down to Bundanoon to lift stones, dude. Don't.
I am. So we're gonna skip next weekend. Nicole's not happy with me, but
You're
we're gonna.
doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. We're gonna skip the stone session. So we're gonna do, my series is gonna be there, like the one I trained. So it's only 100 to 165, right? 5 meters apart.
Yeah.
Run and do it. And then on the way back,
the thing with the Bundanoon stones,
yeah,
is they are a very particular set of stones.
yeah, sandstone.
They are sandstone, and they're a little different. They're not Atlas stones.
Right.
They are hand carved, kind of egg shaped stones.
Right. Okay.
They're a very unique and special set of stones.
Right. Okay.
You know that they've actually had. I'm not sure if you familiarized yourself with the history of those stones.
I did. History. I did.
They have a rich history that kind of goes right back to some of the greatest world's strongest man champions and finalists
Magnus. Yep.
from all around the world. So it's a beautiful set of stones. It's an amazing experience, and Bundanoon is one of, if not the biggest Highland Games event on the Australian calendar. It's one of three. I'd say the three biggest are Bundanoon, Aberdeen, and the Canberra Gathering.
Right.
And Bundanoon, last time I was there, I think the crowd was something like 20,000 people. And they said that was the smallest attendance that it's ever been, because it still hadn't bounced back from COVID.
Yeah. Yep.
So man,
Wow.
it's an excellent opportunity, and it's a real privilege to get on that show, man. So I'm happy for you.
So I'm gonna go there, and then on the way back, I need to find a gym that has 200 plus stone. Who has it?
Oh,
in Sydney.
You know what?
Yeah.
Pop by my place.
What stone do you have?
I've got a 205.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I've got a
Yeah.
20. I've got a 205.
Yeah.
That's never been lifted by anyone.
Okay. Okay.
I would love for you to come and christen that stone.
Is it?
I'll tell. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
Okay.
tell you. I'll give you a story. This one's cool. We did Australia's Strongest Man last year,
Yep.
and I think maybe just after the show or at some stage, I ordered some more stones from Phil Burgess. He makes stones up on the Central Coast,
Mhm.
and once ASM was finished, he delivered them, dropped them off. I was still cooked from Australia's Strongest Man. Had no intention of loading them. Didn't really have anything planned. But then that weekend, I was actually going to Bali for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I went to Bali, celebrated my 30th birthday.
Yep.
Came home. It was like a week out from the Sydney Strongman Classic that I told you about with the stone to shoulder event at the end.
Yep.
So stone to shoulder, so they weren't super heavy. So I didn't need to lift super heavy stones. I just needed to touch stones to shoulder once.
Yep.
And then the year kind of progressed, and last year was an extremely busy competition year for me personally. I ended up competing between Highland Games and Strongman about 20 times. So I was kind of running around like a headless chicken, and I never really had the opportunity. Nothing came up for like heavy stones or like a max stone. So I just kind of didn't train them. And time's gone by, and the last time that I was meant to lift it was the day that I tore my bicep in the gym in January.
No.
So it's still there collecting dust, mate. So
Okay.
I would love for you to come down and lift that stone.
Are you gonna lift it with me? That's the question. It's the last week of ASM. Like
No.
last week out of no. Okay.
Yeah. So
No.
I've already made the promise to myself between now and ASM, I'm not touching stones.
Okay. With your bicep and stuff. Yeah.
Well, look, physically it feels great.
Mhm.
So mentally I feel great.
Yep.
So I don't want to risk that. Like I'd rather go into ASM, get through all 7 events and then face the stones and kind of deal with it when I get there.
Yeah.
Then, touch wood, worst case scenario,
Yeah.
you and I are warming up for stones. I lift 100-kilo stone and something happens.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like mentally I would be wobbled,
Yeah. Nah, we don't want that.
And then I'm wobbled for the 7 events leading up to the stone. So
Yeah.
no, mate, I will be there with you. I'll be
Done.
right there by your side.
Done. I'll stop by.
Yeah, cool.
I'll stop by. Done.
Cool.
I don't need to ask anyone else. I'll stop by. Just send me the
Beautiful.
address wherever it is. I'll stop by because I gotta go through Sydney anyways.
Cool, mate. I'd love to have you. We'll have coffees, mate. I'll fuel you up.
Done. We'll message Max. Be like, can you catch a flight over? Max is coming to ASM, right? I think he is.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think he is.
Cool.
Because he's got you, myself, Ellie, Big G, Jordan. Who else does he have? I'm pretty sure someone else I'm missing. I'm pretty sure. So there's like 5 people, all of us together.
Cool.
So it'll make sense for him to be there.
Sweet.
Yeah. Now let's talk about 20 comps you did. So I saw you doing comps last year. So after ASM to this ASM, obviously you've grown a lot. You've grown a lot as an athlete. You have done a lot of comps. The one comp that stands out, the one video that stands out, which made I think that video should be viral. It's you having the best time of your life in Uzbekistan.
Yes.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
You were just having the best time dancing. It was after the comp, no
Yeah.
shirt on, all tattoos out, jacked as fuck.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because that was your first international comp?
No. That was my third.
Okay.
Back in 2000 and I think 2018 or 2019. 2018, I traveled to Thailand. I competed in Thailand's Strongest Man. Then 2019, I think before COVID, traveled to China, competed in the Chinese Open they had over there. So Uzbekistan was my third run, I think. I think it was before. I did China again last year. I'm pretty sure Uzbekistan was before. But no, it was beautiful. It was an amazing country. Gorgeous people, man. You know what really struck me about the people in Uzbekistan was, when we running around here, we say g'day to people, it's g'day, whatever, hello. Theirs is this. It's a touch of the heart and it's a nod and it's so warming, man.
Really?
I've done a little bit of traveling. I've been here and there, and the Uzbeki people are just so loving and warming and welcoming. Like, bro, like I just felt like family. It was so cool. The competition itself was heaps of fun. We flew into the capital of Uzbekistan, which the name escapes me now. Mental blanking on the name. From there, we caught an internal flight into somewhere else, and they took us to the ancient city of Khiva.
Mhm.
And in Khiva, they had this beautiful old castle that was built, easily 1,000 years ago.
Mhm.
And as part of this castle's history, it had this hero, or this king, or this prince, whose lore was he had this deep lore of these incredible feats of strength,
Mhm.
and they were the feats that we emulated for the competition. So
True.
it was a lot of fun. There was a wagon load and push.
Mhm.
There was a Hercules hold, but it was the hold of the pillars of Khiva.
Yep.
There were front holds with these giant swords and stone lifting and all sorts. It was an amazing competition with some fantastic athletes from across the world.
Right.
I got to compete against Wide Pav, which was
Yep.
fun. And
Yeah.
the fellow that won, we actually competed in two separate competitions. Day 1 and day 2 was the first competition, and then
Mhm.
day 3 was the second competition. And there was this enormous bloke, an Iranian, he was 7 foot tall, and his name was Reza, and he was just this huge, mammoth of a man, and
Yep.
he was just same thing, man. He was warm and welcoming, but just a giant, just one of those
Yep.
guys that you see in strongman where you I shook his hand, and my hand disappeared, and I'm looking up at the guy like this, and I'm just thinking, oh, here we go.
We're like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he ended up winning the first competition on day 1 and day 2,
Mhm.
and then I actually won the second competition, which was hosted on day 3,
Mhm.
with some really odd events. The one on day 3, the first event was a bus pull, but
Mhm.
then we went down onto the beach, and the last 2 events were on sand, and the
Mhm.
first one was an overhead medley, but it
Yep.
was 10 reps with so ground to overhead with 32 kilo kettlebells.
Mhm.
And then it was once you finished with those, you went on to the first monster dumbbell. I think it was only about 80 kilos, and you had to hit that for a double,
Yep.
clean and press. And then the second monster dumbbell, again, this is all on sand, was about 90 kilos, and you had to hit that for a double as well. So that was that was an experience.
Mhm.
But I think I had an advantage there because being from the beaches here, I've spent a lot of time on the beach, and
Yep.
even through lockdown, a lot of my conditioning and cardio work was actually just slapping a 30-kilo weight vest on, and I would just go up on the soft sand, and I would just hike from Long Reef to DY.
Right.
So I was fairly good on the sand. But one of them was a front carrier, this giant stone. It was about 170, 180 kilos, and it was just a max carry on the sand. And I won that event as well, so that gave me the lead for the competition.
Yep.
But the dancing was cool because we were treated like kings, man.
Yep.
Like they just treated us like royalty. And, they were waiting on us hand and foot and bending over backwards to accommodate for us. We had translators, and at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and transport, and everything was just run so well.
Mhm.
And every night after competition, we'd go and we'd have this huge feast, man. I mean, huge feast, like
Mhm.
tables and tables of strongmen, and there was probably more wait staff than there was athletes, and they just kept bringing it. Man, you'd finish a plate of food, and then one would just appear again in front of you, and we were just eating meats and breads and fruits, and it was awesome. But that video that you saw was actually after I think it was the first day of competition,
Mhm.
and we're there and we're eating this banquet, and they bring out this band, and man, the band was going off. I couldn't believe it. They were jamming, dude. And they were dancing and they were partying, and it was incredible. And I've stopped eating. I was just captivated, and I was kind of looking around at a lot of the competitors, and they were just kind of slouched over their food and not really interested. And it kind of felt like they were almost this band was a nuisance to them, but I wanted to get amongst it. I was just ear to ear, and sure enough, one of them was like, "Do you want to come dance?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude."
Say less, I'm in.
So yeah, I jumped up and had a boogie, and no, it was just fun. Like, again, they were just so welcoming and warm. Like, it was just like
Yeah.
I was just so happy in that moment. So no, it was cool. It was a really, really cool trip. It was a really cool experience. I would hands down go again.
Yep.
You know, even though it was the furthest travel I think I've ever done. You know, it was pretty brutal. You know, people, we talk about competing overseas in strongman, and people have, some pretty hectic travels. Nah, this one was gnarly. This was,
Yep.
a 12 or a 13-hour flight from here into the Middle East. And then from there, it was I think an 8 or a 10-hour flight from the Middle East over into Uzbekistan. We might have even stopped in at Turkey halfway through and changed over there to finish the rest of the way in Uzbekistan. And then that internal flight was another, 2 hours internally. Yep. And then even on day 3, they put us on a bus and sent us 3 hours up into the mountains. You know, it was,
Yep.
it was a long way away from home.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd go back in a heartbeat, bro.
Yeah, no, that's cool. See,
That was cool.
that's what you want. That's the hospitality. Like, you would want to come back. Like, happily you'll take a chance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the strongman part done. Let's talk about your personal life. Obviously, why did you start strongman? What led you into strongman?
I was speaking about this recently because one of the women in the area here, she owns a gym up in the Northern Beaches, and she runs she's a nutritionist as well. She's actually reached out, and we're doing a podcast together next week.
Cool.
But we had a meeting, we had a coffee, we had a catch up, kind of, went over a few things first. She asked me the same question, and it poured out this way. I suppose when I was younger and when I was in school, I was always, loosely involved in sports. I always did school sports and athletics and, all the rest of it, all of them, running, throwing, jumping. I was always playing a team sport. So, started with soccer when I was, 6 and 7 years old, and then moved into rugby, and from rugby union went to rugby league, and, I was doing squad swimming. I was always doing something with a sport. But school kind of finished, and I got into the workforce, and I found myself doing home furniture removals. So I was driving trucks around and carrying furniture, and I loved that.
I did that.
Did you really?
I did that while doing uni.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. You'd get on a truck, and we had some really good crews of boys, and we would turn it into a big game. We would turn it into, and I used to call it, one of the boys remembered, I would call it the Removals Olympics every day. So I'd be running in and out of people's houses, picking up the biggest, heaviest item that I could, and no one was allowed to help me. I had to one-man everything. And, I think that's kind of where strongman, like kind of started. That's where I first, realized that, carrying things was fun, Anyway. I kind of came to the conclusion that within that portion of my life, I didn't have an athletic endeavor to pursue. Like I said, school was finished. I wasn't doing anything, wasn't chasing anything. So I wanted to do something. In addition to removals, I was in the gym like everyone else. I was 18, 19, 20 years old. In a gym, just training dumbbells and chest flies, nothing serious. Kind of got into a bit of strength training through some research that I found online, and started to, squat and deadlift, and was kind of getting interested in that. I remember, searching through YouTube and coming across fantastic old weightlifters like Klokov comes to mind. And I was watching a lot of Dmitry Klokov and couldn't believe that he was snatching, 180, 200 overhead and clean and pressing, 220, 230. It was just, it blew my mind. So I figured that whatever athletic endeavor I was going to pursue, it had to have some kind of tie to the gym. And, because I was spending all my time there anyway.
Yep.
So I actually went and joined a weightlifting club. There was a local weightlifting club up north, Triumph Weightlifting Club, and that's where I started to learn the clean and jerk and the snatch. But I was also in the contemplative state of, would it be weightlifting? Maybe. Would it be bodybuilding? No, not really my thing. Would it be powerlifting? No, not really my thing. Like, it seemed like it would just be monotonous. I figured that whatever I chose to do, I was gonna be willing to commit to.
Correct.
But I also then soon found that weightlifting was kind of just another powerlifting, in the sense that, once you would eventually master the technical proficiencies of weightlifting, it was essentially just the clean and jerk and the snatch for the rest of my life, if that's what I was going to commit to. So I needed a little bit more variety. Anyway, there was a bloke in the area. He owned a gym, and it was this dungeon, and it was called, whatever his name was, Extreme Gym. And he offered, on his logo, it was like him with a big tire, and it was like strength and conditioning and strongman training. So I trained in there with the boys, and we'd do tire flips and learn farmers carries. And he had this big, this huge rope that apparently he took off a wharf somewhere where they used to tie up the cruise liners, and we do these big heavy rope slams, and we carried tires over our head. It was real like garage strongman. But that kind of led me down that path. I thought, strongman, isn't that a thing? Like, isn't that the thing that they do? I swear I've seen that on like TV. So that kind of took me down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I found out, like, yeah, this is a sport. People do this. People lift stones and pull trucks, and they deadlift and they clean and press, and they're carrying things, and they're doing removals Olympics for sport. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But I found a gym in the local area. It was this old school, blood and guts kind of gym. And out the back in the car park, they had a tire, they had a fixed axle, they had some farmers and a yoke. So I started training out the back in that car park, and I just fell in love with it, man. Like me and the boys would just make our own medleys up, and we'd just pick a few implements and we'd run them back and forth, and we'd time each other, and we'd push each other, and we'd just add more weight every week, and it was great. But something was talking to me to compete, and the thing was, I had no reason to believe what I believed at the time. Yes, I was an athletic kid. I was a sporty kid, but I wasn't a champion. Like, I wasn't the best footy player. I wasn't really any good at footy at all. I wasn't the best swimmer. I wasn't that committed. I realized I won some trophies and ribbons and stuff from school carnivals, but who cares? Like, I wasn't, I wasn't like an athlete. But there was something inside me that just gave me the will to believe that I could be the best at something. And I kind of just picked it one day in the car park. I remember the day where I decided that I would be the strongest man in Australia one day. And this was before I knew that there was a strongman community. This was before I knew that there was Australia's Strongest Man. This was before I knew, I hadn't done a competition, but I committed to the crazy goal. I actually put a time frame on it. I would have been 21 or 22 at the time, and I said, I want to be Australia's Strongest Man by the time I'm 30. So I was under no illusion that it was going to take time. But I didn't really know where I was going. So anyway, I did a bit of a Google research, and I found that they were hosting a contest out in Western Sydney. It turns out it was the 2016 Static Monsters. I didn't really know what that was, but but it was a strongman contest, So I went out there, and I pulled a PR of a 250 kilo, 18-inch axle deadlift, and I hit a PR, I think, of a 100 kilo log press, and I placed last. But I fell in love. I completely fell in love with it. And seeing those boys that day, one of the fellas, he came out and he opened at 400, and then he hit 425, and then his third attempt was at 450. I think from memory he missed it, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, I hadn't been exposed to these people or these environments, and it stole my heart straight away. So I was all in from that moment. I just knew that I would put my head down and I would become the strongest man in Australia. And where I recently turned 31, So I didn't achieve my goal by claiming that title by age 30, but that hasn't wobbled me. I'm still committed to.
You're still top 3 in the country. That's a big ask.
That
That is a big ask.
Well, thank you. I'm still committed to seeing this through.
Yep.
So, here we go. 5 weeks to go.
5 weeks to go. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Wow, that's removalist. That makes sense. I know. We used to have this. We used to carry these like single door fridges, and dude, this is the scariest bit, right? This was this skinny guy. His name is Zach and Corey. They're still my friends. They're skinny tall, like skinny guy, abs and chin. Dude, they will carry, and I'm big guy, right? Anything on their shoulder. He's carrying a single door fridge on his shoulder, and I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. That's how it started. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
These guys are insane. Like drawers, like washing machines. Just go.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. That's. Yeah, if you're removalist, come and try strongman. You will be good at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So now done international comps, and obviously your biggest goal at the moment is becoming Australia's strongest man. 5 weeks out, you're hungry, everything's there, everything's going well. Touch wood, no injuries. You might be there. You will be there. What's after AS? Is it a stepping stone to something bigger, or is it the end goal? What is the future plan?
Like I just said, for the longest time, like this has been the long-term goal. So it feels like I'm approaching the end of my long-term goal. I'm not there yet, and I will see it through. Whether or not it's this year or not is yet to be seen. I'm not under any illusion that the boys in this year's division, many of them deserve number one. And no one's rolling over for that top spot. As a fan of the sport and as a fan of the boys in our division, yourself included,
thank you.
I've put together my own personal predictions. And ego aside, I don't consider myself top 3 this year. I don't.
Okay. That's very humble of you.
It doesn't mean that I'm not rocking up, and I'm not going to give it everything I can and everything I have to prove myself wrong. But I'm just under no illusion that these boys are also working their tits off. These boys have also committed their life's purpose to becoming the strongest man in Australia. And they're looking fucking awesome. So, and if I can go ahead and make it public, I think in order of, first through to third, I think we're looking at a repeat of Jordan Osborne coming through first place. I think hot on his heels is Josh Pataka. And then
really,
and then in third place, I think Coco, and that to me is the podium. I think there's going to be there's going to be 3 clear packs in our division.
Right.
There's going to be the top, the mid, and the bottom pack. And in terms of how the points are going to fall, I just don't believe that the boys in the top 3 to top 5 are going to lose points from those in the middle or the bottom pack, and they're going to be fighting amongst themselves for a top on that for a spot on that podium. So I mean, there it is.
Jordan's got a massive advantage because he's such a good mover, isn't he? He is so athletic, so fast with such a heavy weight. He's got massive advantage. Not that it's not an advantage. He's fucking worked hard for it. It doesn't come naturally. But
bro, the guy's he's also pressed 180 kilo, clean and pressed 180 kilos overhead. He's also deadlifted 400 kilos. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't see a weakness. He moves.
I don't.
Like
he moves very well.
He moves like a man possessed. He is so fast. He is so strong. He is so hungry. I'm a big fan, and I think he's going to do incredibly well. I think and it's the same for the other 2 boys. It's the same for Josh, and it's you can't count Josh out. Josh, his pressing is phenomenal. His speed is amazing. His deadlift is world class. You know, he doesn't have weaknesses. He's not going to drop points anywhere. You know, he also carries weight like a freak. You know, he's got experience. He's going to do exceptionally well. Coco, one of the best strongmen in the country. You know,
Correct.
brutal overhead, powerful
Absolutely.
off the floor. You know, 420 kilo deadlift recently. He you know, he for a shorter bloke in the division with a lower center of gravity, he moves like a crazy man. You know, he has top level experience. He's been in the game a long time to the highest level. Like, you can't just walk over these guys and think for a second that you can just beat them because you want it more. Like, they're
Here's
guys.
Here's what I think, right? And like you said, you have explained everything. They have no weaknesses. If BJ Stone can work out those farmers, because I saw the farmers in there, and I'm going to have a podcast this afternoon with him. If he can work out those farmers somehow, man's got no weakness. Like he's training under Tyson obviously now, but the man's overhead is phenomenal. If not as good as Coco, it's just up there. Like we both saw at Pro Show what he's done.
Better.
Yeah,
Better.
he's 195.
Sorry, 190 for a double.
195 or 190?
190 for a double.
190 for double
is what he hit at Coco's. Like, what?
That is like 2 cleans as well. It wasn't just like press. It was 2 cleans and press. It was fucking it was something.
He's a better presser. You know, he's a very similar deadlifter.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, he just loses points on speed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the farmers is still a dice roll for him, and that's why I'm saying those top 3 to 5 boys, they're not losing points anywhere.
No.
Like, they're concrete. They are concrete. You know, even the mid-pack guys who are going to come through with a big deadlift, they're not touching top 3. They're not taking points away from them, and it's just going to solidify their position at the top. So, you know, BJ Stone, big fan, love him to death, love him dearly. He's definitely going to be top 5, but where he is in that top 5,
who knows? That's the thing. It's so hard to predict. Like you said, the top 3 are, yes, they are there if they don't make mistakes, but anything happen on the comp. Like, look at under 73s, Jess Niche, classic example. I picked her up for winning, if not like second, if not first, because she was gonna get, but something happened, you know, and that's the thing. It's name of the game. But yeah, like it's very. I'm really excited.
Who do you put in top 3?
Without any ego, without any my personal ego in it, I think Jordan's definitely there. Right, I haven't seen Josh Pateka compete. That's my personal problem, right? I haven't seen him. I do put Jonathan Nello up there in top 5 though. Jonathan's beaten Josh Pateka at Big Strongest Man, but Josh was also training for OST. Like, he tied with him, right? Jonathan lacks experience. That's what his downfall gonna be. My second would be definitely. I was gonna pick Coco second. Because, like I said, I haven't seen Josh Pateka compete. My third was Ryan Rulis, because you cannot. He's just done 200 stone on a 1.5 meter. I've seen that. He's done bigger number. He just doesn't post, right? And obviously, Jonathan Nello was there. My top 4th was you, definitely. I was like, Mac will be there no matter what, like defending champion. And then 5th was Jonathan Nello. That's my very best, because I haven't seen all the guys. That's my biggest problem. And I think Jordan will lose top face if he messes up, and BJ will just sneak in. If BJ can fix his farmers, I think that's the only weakness he has. I haven't seen him other than that make a weakness. And I also know Tyson does Tyson things. He does wonders. And Tyson is a very good coach.
I've actually heard. Oh, sorry, you're talking about from a coaching perspective, because I thought that he'd withdrawn.
He's not. He's withdrawn. He's withdrawn because he's got the world's title. He's competing for the world's title. And then he's doing Log, Dead, and Stone, and then doing Germany again. Yeah.
I think, you know, I'm right there with.
You are
with Ryan Rulis and, you know, with Nilo. However, like I said, there are holes in the game that these top boys just have covered. You know, spoiler alert. Ryan loses points in the max log. Spoiler alert. Simple as that. Spoiler alert. Ryan loses points in the deadlift for reps. And it's because that top 3 bunch are taking them all.
Yeah.
You know, you're not wedging in there on any of these events. They're just taking them and they're running.
Here's the thing. Reason Ryan Willis.
Spoiler alert: Mackie boy
Yeah.
loses points in the deadlift. You
No.
Spoiler alert, and that,
Yeah.
and it's fine. It is what it is. I'm not a deadlifter. Spoiler alert: Mackie boy loses points in the stone. It is what it is, and it
this
ain't
is
what
what
it
I'm
isn't.
thinking. This is what I'm thinking, right? If Ryan pulls out this stone series out of nowhere, I haven't seen. Like, this is what I was saying. I haven't seen one of the guys.
The guy's a freak.
Yeah, if he pulls out, I am waiting. Two people more that I've seen stone lifting that I want to see how they go is BJ Stone, because he's done 225 stone in training. I've seen it. Ryan's just done 200 to 1.5. That's strength. He can do 210 to 1.2. Who does it faster? And again, it's end of 2 days comp. That's the event where it's gonna make and break for those guys who are sitting in the mid pack. Because if someone's fourth, say Ryan is, right? Just for example, if he goes and beats Jordan, I haven't seen, and this is where no disrespect to Jordan, I haven't seen Jordan load more than 180 kilo stone in a series twice. One was at WA Strongest Man. He couldn't load 180. Maybe tacky issue. He's done 210. His 210 max stone is 210 at Obliterate. He's fucking strong as fuck. But I haven't seen him in a series. My perspective, he hasn't loaded more than 180 stone. That will lose him a lot of points because you can easily do that 190. I know that. I've seen it. I've seen it. I can do it. I don't know, Jonathan. Ryan can do it. BJ can do it. Like, that's a lot of points to be made. That event, and this is how I see it, that event's taken very lightly in strongman. It is. And but it's also the last event. If you are struggling with a point, that's where the difference is going to be made. Imagine Ryan wins that. He's just fixed his mistake.
And you know what? He fucking can too.
He can too.
The moment that I realized that I was sleeping on Ryan Rullis was 2022 New South Wales Strongest Man, when he kicked me off the podium in the final event, kicked me into fourth place. He took third because we had a 160 stone for reps, and the man loaded it 9 times in a minute.
Yep. Like I said,
I beg your pardon.
He's strong.
I might have misspoke. He might have loaded that 10 times.
Holy shit.
I'll have to confirm with him. It was absurd to just watch this man just stone after stone after stone after stone.
He doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't post much, which is smart as well, because people sleep on him. Nobody sees him. But the way he loaded that 200 when I saw it, I was like, that is impressive. That is the man. And I'm worried. I'm like, Stone, that's my Stone event that I want. This man and BJ will give me run for money.
I think when we were talking earlier about the stones coming up, because of your resume, so long as you can pull it out on the day, you're my top pick. But then furthering that, it's Ryan Rullis.
It's Ryan.
For that 210. You know, BJ at Coco's, he missed the 200 through not any other reason apart from it wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
You know, he was sleeved up, he was tackied up, he was horny as fuck. You know, he'd had a blind to all competition except for the farmers. And you know, 200 is a big ask at the end of a stone run, at the end of a heavy comp. So
big ask.
You know, will he lift a 210 stone? I don't think so.
I think it's gonna be whoever gets to 190 quickest. That's what everyone's predicting, and that's the fair game. That's the good plan, because 210 is a risk, right? Hit and miss. Why you want to take a risk if you wanna? Those top 3 guys will be trying to hit 190 fastest, and I know Jordan can one motion 150, 60. I know, I've seen it, but it's also a ask of another 2 days at the end of 2 days. So it's get to 190. My plan is get to 190 as quickly as I can, then take a breather, and then load that motherfucker. Because that will get me everywhere I want to be. That is the plan, because it's the heaviest ever 210. It hasn't been before in Australia. I think Tyson and Lee talked about in their podcast. There was one in Russia who did this same series, but this is the heaviest ever been in Australia, and I want to do it.
Well, you know what's crazy is just it's the evolution of the game. Like I was talking to some of the old boys, and it was, you know, back in, I think when Giants was here in 2014 at FitX in Melbourne, There were some boys on the lineup then that first loaded a 200 kilo stone in a series, and that is an impressive feat. And the only other time that I've seen that done was from Matt Ragg at Coco's, at the Beast of Burden Pro. And that, what was special about that was, I think leading into that event, Eddie Williams from memory had loaded 190 in the fastest split. So it was 160, 70, 80, 90, 200. And I think at that moment in time, Eddie was leading, and Ben was emceeing, and he even said, as Matt Ragg came out, he goes, if Matt Ragg wants this win, he either beats, he loads 190 in under 37 seconds, or he loads the 200. And the way that Matt came out when his name was called and go was called, he was just calm, cool, and collected.
He's
and
a very
160. And no rush. Over
No rush.
goes the 170, 180, 190, bit of patataki, and 200 as easy as you like.
There was no panic.
No.
And he moved 200 like I've never seen moved before. Like
Never in my life.
I haven't seen it. It was like, oh yeah, cool. This is just a session for me. So yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you define, like, world-class athlete compared to, people who are trying to make pro. Like, everyone was panicking. And obviously Eddie did very well too. Eddie was very calm and collective. What is that?
Is that excuse me 1 second.
That's way better. Thank you. Sorry.
No, sorry. They're just doing some renos upstairs. I might even migrate out into the other room.
That's fine.
Is it bad?
It is bad.
Let me take you for a little wander.
There you go. We get to see the tour of the, Big Mac's house. What makes Big Mac Big Mac? So that's the showroom with the.
It might be just as bad out here. What is that?
Yeah, we'll make it work. It is worse out here, by the way.
Little fuckers, dude.
That's all right. You can't control everything, I guess.
Yeah, no, they just started today, actually.
Oh, that's all right. They stopped. Right, so that's the ASM done. That's you done, how you started your strongman. Okay. Obviously you have a lovely partner, Dash, right? And obviously you are a very, very someone I would look up to as a person who would, like, if I can be as happy, as calm and collective in a sport as an athlete, I'd love to be. I get in my own head, but I'm working on it. Have you ever had a moment of doubt in yourself or let me put it this way, have you ever failed as a person, as a man, as a partner? Have you ever failed as a son? Have you ever failed as you don't have kids at the moment, do you?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Oh, hold on.
No,
hold on.
Tash and I would love children of our own.
Yeah.
It's the topic of conversation at the moment, and it's something that we're actively working towards. Getting started. So yeah, no, but mate, yeah, the next chapter is before us. It's a matter of time.
So, as a person, as a man, as a partner, have you ever failed as a person, or a man, or a son?
Look, on a deep level, there's nothing that comes to mind, particularly in recent history, that leads me to believe that I'm a failure or I've failed someone. This strongman objective really is all-consuming. It's my passion, it's my purpose, it's now my livelihood, it's my business. So the only kind of failures that I can think of are directly to do with strongman, and particularly lifts in strongman. And the example that springs to mind was as simple as on Sunday evening, so 2 days ago, I was training in the gym. I was fried.
Mhm.
I had a heavy deadlift session last week, and my nervous system had been smacked out to the stratosphere. Like
Yep.
I just did not recover from these deadlifts. It just put me into another dimension. It
Yep.
really,
Yep.
really fucked me. So I had my final event session of the week to go, and it's a very simple session. It's been the Zercher carry and it's been the farmer's carry, and there's a little bit of grip on the back end of it. But as a prelude for the training session, I have front squats.
Mhm.
And I'm such a good boy, dude. I'm such
Mhm.
a good boy when it comes to staying the course and not deviating away from the plan.
Yep.
And I'm all over rest, recovery. I track my
Yep.
sleep, my nutrition. I'm doing contrast therapy 3 times a week. Like
Mhm.
I'm all over it. But something told me in this session, whatever you fucking do not start this session with heavy front squats. Like, just swap it. Just do your event work, you idiot.
Yep.
Do your event work and then tack your front squats onto the back because
Yeah.
you are fucked.
Mm.
And I was like, right, roger that.
Yep.
So got on with the session,
Uh-huh.
and it was bearable. Got towards the end of the session, finished the Zercher, finished the farmers, got onto the front squat. By this time, it's 9:30. That's very late for Mackie Boy.
Yep.
Tash has swung by the gym to pick me up. She's just come off a day shift as a nurse.
Oh, wow.
Man, this
Yep.
woman is just the most selfless woman on this planet. She comes in, not a problem. She goes, Train, you need to do this. I want to, I'll hang out. She's just there in her scrubs, bro. She's just chilling. Bless her. She's actually jumping on the lat pull down. She's getting some reps in.
Yep.
She's jumped on the gymnastic ring. She goes, I reckon I can hang upside down. And she's doing inverted holds, and she's having fun. But I get to these front squats, man. I swear to God, 60 kilos was heavy. And I was like, fuck, 100 kilos was heavy. I was like, damn, 140 kilos was heavy. Shit, 180 kilos nearly broke me.
Yep.
And I loaded on 210, which was the working weight for the day. Nothing crazy, but like
Yep.
I said, I was cooked. And I turned to Tash, and one of my training partners and clients, Tristan, was actually there as well. I turned to them and I said, guys, I'm not usually like this, but if there ever was a time for me to miss a rep in training,
Mhm.
and before I finished that sentence, Tash piped up and she said, well, it's not now. And
Bless her.
dude,
God bless her.
She's the sweetest girl. And I don't know, I needed that right then. And I walked up to the rack, and she put a tune on for me. She's put Fred again on, and we're fucking having a boogie. And I hit this first set, and it was heavy. Like, I came back for the second set, and only doubles. And man, I sank down to the bottom of the hole,
Yep.
and I dumped the bar.
Yep.
And that was a failure. In my head, I thought that if and when that happened, I was gonna fuck it off. I was gonna move on.
Mhm.
I'm fried. I knew I was fried. I vocalized it. I'm feeling it in my bones. Wasn't gonna be there. I was gonna pack the bar away and go home. It's fucking late. I'm fucking starving. I want to go to bed.
Yep.
But I just couldn't do it to myself, and I
Mhm.
couldn't do it to Tash. And it sounds like I'm making it out to be this,
No.
this grand gesture of, if I do or die, like it's going to change the trajectory of the whole entire world, or whatever. But it's not. It's lifting weights.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, like in that moment, I felt like I was letting them down.
Yep.
If I just packed that bar up and walked away at 9:30 in the night. Like, Tasha's here, bro. Like, she's been fucking waiting for me for an hour to finish training. She's encouraging me, like, unload that bar, put it back on the rack, put those fucking plates back on there, and get under it for a double.
Yep.
And I did, you know.
You did. Fuck yeah.
And I fucking sank him, and I fucking added a cheeky pause in there just so, I don't know. It was kind of like I was showing them that I wouldn't let them down, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you ask me, you know, how have you failed as a man, you know, on a deep level, nothing really comes to mind. But
Yeah.
like that's just that. I suppose that's the mentality that I have, particularly around strongman. Is like, you know, I've got people here that really they believe in me, and you know, I've shared my story and I've involved them in my story. You know,
Yeah.
they are part of this. You know,
Yeah.
Tash, just while we were starting,
Coffee.
I thought I would love another coffee. I texted her, mate,
Yeah.
would you mind please bringing another coffee? And she's there. You know,
She's there. Yeah.
she made my breakfast this morning. Like she, you know, she was in the ice bath and the sauna with me today. Like
Yeah.
I love that woman,
Yeah.
and she's on board, so I can't fail for me. I can't fail for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
That is,
So
oh my god, that is like Charles said the same thing, man. I fucking crave that. That is the goal. That is the fucking ideal goal. That is goal. Would you have done this if Dash wasn't here? Would you be this successful if she wasn't
no
supporting you
way,
the way you are?
not a chance.
Not a chance.
There is not a fucking chance, bro. You know, when here we go. When Tash came into my life, I was kind of at the end of. I was on the back end of a very turbulent time in my life.
Mhm.
I was very chaotic.
Mhm.
I was chaotic. I wasn't as focused as I should or could have been.
Mhm.
It was turbulent. I had these, you know, self-destructive behaviors, you know, that kind of revolved around, you know, partying and drugs and alcohol and these kinds of things. And similarly to how I told you earlier in the story, that there was something in me that believed that I could be the best. I could be the strongest man in Australia.
Mhm.
There was something also that also made me believe that I could change and I could become better. And I suppose as it's coming to me, it's because of Tash.
God bless her. God bless you both. Fucking hell, you're such a cute couple. Like seriously, I don't know Dash much. I've only met her twice, but holy shit! Like just bringing her
Yeah.
coffee, checking up on you, obviously doing things with you in the gym. Like nursing is not easy. She deals with like a lot of emotional stuff, plus like chaotic stuff in the hospital. I'm assuming, and then coming and having that calm collectiveness to deal with you while you're failing your session. Fuck, man, that's incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah, she's a special girl, man.
Absolutely,
I'm completely
absolutely.
lucky. Completely lucky.
Well, I hope sooner or later you guys have kids. Like obviously, we love a little Mac, Big Mac and a little Mac.
Careful what you wish for.
No, definitely hit Dash. Yeah, we love a little Mac. Obviously, even if it's a girl, we love a little Nugget.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I want a girl. I don't want a boy. I think girls are more precious. Personally, yeah. But then
we
obviously,
would love boys.
really,
And in fact,
yeah.
you know, and it's one of those things. You say this now. We're even at the cafe just recently with some good friends of ours. They've just had their beautiful daughter Eleni.
Yep.
You know, we say this now, but whatever happens.
Happens, yeah.
And I'm sure, you know, if and when it does, it will be completely wrapped. But we're also really hopeful for twins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whose side of the family?
Tash's.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So her grandfather is a twin, and also there's twins on her mum's. Stay with me here. Mum's cousin's kids.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
You know, they're 6 or 7. Forgive me, I'm gonna get crucified for that. But they are twins as well. So there's twins in the
family
in the family line there. So
we're getting a family. We're getting a happy meal.
Yeah.
with a double cheeseburger. Oh, McDonald's sponsor this guy, please.
Yeah, seriously, please.
Please. We've been eating a lot of it. Oh, do you have any sponsors so far?
You know what? Yeah.
Mhm.
About a year ago, I was approached from Ben Clinch, who owns the Free Range Butcher.
Okay.
And he, we sat down and we had a coffee and had a chat. And, we've been friends to the gym for a while, and effectively he's on board as well. He's one of these people that is believing in me, and he's backing me to become Australia's strongest man. So he runs, like I said, the Free Range Butcher, and decided to get on board by sponsoring all my meat every week, and and that's a tremendous amount of support.
Especially when you're with Max and you have to have a certain kind of cut. Fuck you, Max.
Yeah.
Your grocery bills are high.
So I'm blessed to have a butcher sponsor on board, but actually, super exciting news.
Yeah.
Bring it up. Was actually just got confirmed yesterday. The contract has been sent through that I'll be a part of the Bulk Nutrients team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So they've come on board as well, and it's a nutritional supplement sponsorship. So I've got a couple on board now, and just more people in my corner, man. More people that I can't let down. More people that I'm bringing into my story, and that's why it was so important, I suppose, when you mentioned failure. There's people that are literally putting money on the line. They're putting their business on the line to help me achieve this goal. So
man, I cannot wait to see what you do in 5 weeks. And
Thank
thing
you.
is, I'm honored to experience it firsthand.
You've frozen on me.
Oh, have I? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it better? Hold up. I think it's your.
Yeah, it must be.
I think it's yours because in my end it's moving both.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's fine. It'll record my end anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. I cannot. I'm actually like I said, I cannot wait to see what you do in 5 weeks, and it's a privilege to be part of that lineup, obviously, but it's also a privilege to see what happens, like right there on the back end when you take your fucking shirt off and you're like, fucking, let's go. I've seen it on TV last year. So I was like, imagine the energy you have, the aura you have. And it's something like I felt it when I first met you. Obviously, we didn't know each other. And I was like a scared little guy. I'm like, oh, should I, first year in Strongman, should I go and say hello? Who is this? Don't want to offend him. And then, it's an honor. It's a privilege to see that, like, with not just yourself and obviously being part of your energy and, part of the team, part of like Australia's Strongest, the whole lineup. I reckon it's only going to make whoever doesn't win, it's only going to make them more hungry because you are competing at the highest level I think the comp has ever have to offer.
Absolutely.
And imagine people coming out this year. I cannot wait who comes up next year. More hungry,
Yes.
more driven. The people who have missed their chance and couldn't qualify, they are even more hungry than we are because they couldn't be there.
Yep.
And I personally believe people who fail know what it are more hungry, they are more angry, they are more furious to win than the winner. I think there's a more power, more drive, more hunger, more passion because they've just come, like yourself, you have just come so close to the podium, but that would like drive you, help you. I don't know how you sleep at night. You're like, fuck yeah, it is there because you know it's there. It's fucking there.
There's a lot of boys in the division that want it. There's a lot of boys waiting out in the wings that want it.
Absolutely.
So it's an exciting time for us to be in the Opens division for Australian Strongman. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And no one's just been handed an opportunity. Everyone has to go around the country to fucking earn it. Like, I know it firsthand. I lost to Coco by half a point. That fucking hurt. That hurt. But I have a video coming out about that. I'll share it soon.
Oh,
yeah, I got a whole journey because I've just been in strongman for 3 years now. That's when I first started. and it's a separate topic. I'm also the first Indian to ever make it to ASM. ASM is not my end goal. It is a
Dude, that's
stepping
so
stone.
sick.
Yeah. Like we have a stigma. We are weak, and this is what I say. I'm like, we have a stigma. We are weak, and yes, by genetically we are not gifted. We are like weak. We are skinny. We are weak. But here I am. Here
Fucking
I am
oath.
to prove fucking wrong. And AS is a stepping stone. AS is not my end goal. It is a very big stepping stone, but it is a stepping stone. One of my dreams will come true.
To where?
Worlds. I have to go to Worlds. I have to. There is no stopping. Might not be this year, might not be next year. Year after, it's my year to Worlds. That is my year to Worlds. Because, like I said, it's not strength is something that's not gained overnight. I've had 3 years in there, another 3 years will, and this is what I heard every single one say: 5 to 6 year mark is when people start becoming good at what they do, because you put in energy, time, knowledge into it, and that's what I'm giving. 6 year mark, I have to be at least go to Worlds and compete there. That's my goal. So 3 years time, Worlds, I have to be there.
Unreal. Here we go. So
Oh.
what's that? 2026,
Six.
2027.
2026, 2027 WSM. That's mine.
Cool.
That's
Fuck
mine.
yeah. He's claimed it.
Oh, that's mine. That's my spot. Nobody's taking that from me.
He's claimed it.
That is my spot, and that'll happen. Whether it happened before, I'll be grateful.
Surely you would be, without a doubt, the first Indian at WSM.
Oh, absolutely. The first Indian at OST as well in heavyweights. OST, I'm going.
Really?
I'm gonna try this year OST. Yeah, I want to try it.
Heck yeah.
Log Dead might be the place to be, but we'll see.
So OSG is going to be your pathway through to Worlds?
That's the only way I can think of, unless they do, unless a podium ASM, and then they do the whole diversity thing. Like
Yeah.
this is not egotistical of me or not being saying, but there are way better guys stronger than me who should deserve an invite. But because WSM, I'm gonna get in trouble for this, they also are trying to grow their business, a channel, and be diverse. I might get in that way, but would I go that way just now? No, because I'm not ready. There's no way, shape, or form I'm ready. But I want to go there when I'm ready.
But it's also just part of maturing as an athlete, is recognizing when to park our ego,
Correct.
recognize when to realize that there's still work to be done. It doesn't
Yep.
mean that the goals changed.
Yep.
It just means that you have to shift your focus to set a clear path to meet that goal at the right time. You
Yep.
know, and I think that's very mature of you to realize that, you know, World's Strongest Man, obviously this year, you know, that ship has sailed.
Yep.
Next year is a stretch. You know,
Yep.
let's
It is a stretch. It's a very big stretch. Yep.
Let's call a spade a spade. But, you know, for 2026, you put your head down, you
Yep.
keep grinding, you know, you punch your ticket to OSG, you go over there and you show them what you're about, then a world spot is yours. Why not?
Absolutely. Why not? What's everyone's got 60 seconds to do one event, right? Why not me? Why not me? And that's my ego. That's my ego. That's my confidence in myself. But at the same time, I know I'm not there yet. I will say those words when I'm there, and I can back up my bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not taking credit away from anyone, because everyone is in their own journey and own time. But that's where I want to be. As crazy as it sounds. But yeah, I'll be there. But before, I gotta break Australian record again in 2 months.
Man, I'm keen to see it. I've actually seen a few boys now, you know, chirping about records that they're going to break. So I'm very excited to see it happen. And without pissing in your pocket, so long as, you know, the 241 stone and the 210 stone for a set of 6 is you know, is between you and the 4 walls over at Coco's or Steel and Stone, then there's no reason why it can't fall in my book.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, the aim is to go, and that's why I put it out there, because I'm a massive believer in manifesting. If I put it out there, I have to go and do it. Happens or not, different story, but I have to do it. There's a do or die. I don't say shit and not do it. So I've put it out there a few weeks back. I'm working towards it. I put ASM series on the side, because I'm like, ASM series, whatever happens. Yes, it's doable. Yes, people are going to go really hard on it, but at the same time, I also got like 4.5 weeks to prep for another comp. So, and that means more. It doesn't mean more. ASM means more to me, but that's also because I've said it. I want to do it. And I put my whole Japan trip on the side for it. So I have to fucking do it.
Fucking oath. Holidays can wait.
Holidays can wait. Yeah, so that's the plan. But now that's it. Now, to end this, I know we have discussed a little bit about this before, and I know this might be way out of your reach and stuff. how you're very motivated person. You have goals. You can't let people down. That's your motivation, right? Or you have to be the greatest in Australia. You have your personal goals. You have to set them right. Um, you are one of the lucky ones who haven't been. I don't know. You haven't been dealt a very bad hand where you have people supporting you, people loving you, backing you up, putting their time and money into it. There are also people on the other end of the spectrum who,
Mm.
not that people don't believe in them, who fight mental battles every day, who fight with their own thoughts in their head every fucking freaking day, right? And the easiest way for them is to just finish their life and stuff. If someone was watching this and they are mesmerized by what you said, your compassion, your drive, how driven you are, if they were watching this, do you have any advice for them?
I suppose it might be easier said than done, but align yourself with purpose, whatever it may be. I said before that, lifting weights, lifting stones, strong man, it's not going to change the course of history. It's not going to solve the world's problems, but it definitely gives me, you, and many others a reason to believe in ourselves, to get up every morning and continue to work towards what we're working towards. So, I think it's the message is find whatever it is to align yourself with a purpose.
Hmm. That's yeah, that's a very good message. Yeah, find your purpose and purpose will protect you.
Mm.
That's it. Yeah. One last thing. Tomorrow, strongman is we as an athlete, we are very prone to injuries. Anything can go wrong tomorrow. Who knows?
Mm.
If tomorrow something happens, touch wood, it would never. If something, this is what Max and I always talk about. If tomorrow something happens and you are heavily involved in strongman, your business, your everything is strongman, right? And you couldn't do that anymore in the sense like you have a massive injury, something happened, and you are like, cool, you can't lift heavy for life. Is that the end of Big Mac or is there a bigger picture?
I will always be aligned with my purpose. I will always be Macaulay Tinker Strongman.
Hmm.
Whether I'm competing at Australia's Strongest Man, World's Strongest Man, Giants Live, official Strongman Games, Uzbekistan, China, whatever,
Yep.
I will always live my life as Macaulay Tinker Strongman, in one way or another. And like you said, if something tragic happened and I was limited, I've already committed to, yeah, there's going to be a life after strongman.
Hmm.
Let's look even at the very top level. Let's look at masters boys, over 40s. Strongman is thriving,
Yep.
but Mark Felix hung up the boots,
Yep.
from competing at top level. He's only probably got a few years left competing in the masters circuit. That puts him through to his 60s.
Hmm.
What then? Well, I'm fortunate enough to, throw in Highland Games with a lot of boys that are, over 60, in their 50s and 60s.
Hmm.
So, that's where I will transition to.
Hmm.
But let's say, age doesn't get the best of me, and again, something tragic happens and I end up in a wheelchair.
Hmm.
You fucking better believe your bottom dollar that Mackie Boy is lifting seated deadlifts. Right? You better
Fuck yeah.
you better believe it, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't work because for whatever reason, something horrible has happened.
Yeah.
I will continue to train my grip. I will take up seated grip sport. I don't care. I will find stones to lift. I will find stones to throw
Yep.
because in this life, this is my purpose and this is what makes me happy. Again, it's not changing the world for the better, but it brings me peace and it brings me purpose. So I'll always
Fuck
be in
yeah.
this game.
Yeah. Like Big Mac said, You bet your fucking bottom dollar, whatever you want to say. You bet your fucking ass. He is going to be lifting. Look, I can see you as a very good mentor. And this is someone who's looked up to a lot of people, right? A very good people. I look up to my coach. I look up to Eddie Williams, Rongo, and obviously those humble people, right? And I think you have a very good potential of being so strong yet so humble and so kind. You can be a very good mentor. I don't know if you're going to be a mentor to someone or your kids, but I'm sure the people who love you and the whole strongman community cannot wait for that. And even though you're not a father yet, but I can see you being a very good father, very strict father, but very fucking loving father at the same time.
I think you hit the nail on the head, mate.
Yep,
Yeah,
very strict father, but very fucking loving father.
Nothing good comes from lack of discipline. You know,
Correct.
whether it's through our childhoods or our adult lives, nothing good comes from having no discipline. So, yeah, I think you picked that one well.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm good at reading. Oh, well, no, let's not say that. I'm not good at reading people, knowing my. That's a personal lab. We don't talk about that. But nah, thanks, Mac. Anything? Give me your sponsors link so I can add it to the YouTube and the Instagram, even if you
Cool.
have their logo. This way, it's
Cool.
just they support you, so we can support them.
Cool.
Just a little bit of appreciation to them. What else? I will put your Instagram and your TikTok, because you have one. I know I follow it, and also your YouTube. You have a YouTube channel as well. I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure I follow it. If not, I'll follow it straight away.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that all three in there. Any other socials you have or you wanna put in where people can follow you, reach out to you?
No, that's it. Instagram's probably the best place to find me if you want to chat.
Yep.
TikTok, Tashi actually runs that account for me.
Oh,
So
see,
I make all the videos, and then she spends time on TikTok, so she knows what's what. So
yep,
she handles all that. And if you want to watch any of my rubbish YouTube skills, then
they're not rubbish. They're like,
rubbish.
let me. I've seen it.
They're
Okay.
rubbish, mate.
Bullshit. He's been
that's cool.
No, it's not the best edited videos. We are not editors. We are strong men. We are not smart men. Okay, let's go with that. But if you are looking for a proper advice, proper nutrition, what Mac does during his day, what makes him, who is he, how strong is he is very open about it. He will tell you his diet. He will show you what vitamins he's eating. I've recently seen a video. He tells you his recovery patterns. He tells you what he's training, and the numbers are not bullshit, because as a strongman we can count. Whatever he says is actually on the bar. It is on the bar. They are not fake weights. I've seen it. We all use the standard plates anyways. So if you want to follow his journey and actually trying to learn something about strongman, that is a very good place to start. If I was 3 years ago, I would have started there. And I think when you went down the YouTube rabbit hole, you wish there was something out there similar like that. So if you guys seen strongman, love strongman, or even want to try it out, AS is a great place to start. If not AS, then ASA. If you're in New South Wales, hit up Cold City. What is Cold City Strength? What's your gym called as well?
Mine's J-Train Athletic.
J-Train. If you happen to be in Sydney, I will be there on 6th or 7th of April. I'll see when I'm training, and we're gonna try and pick up that 205 stone and not injure ourselves.
I'm putting that in the
diary,
mate.
Put it in. 6th of April is the stone run. Then
Vijit is with a J, not a G. Is that right?
JIT. Yep. So on the way back, we're gonna stop at McCully's gym. We're gonna check out he's got a log. It's called a Big Mac log. I want to try that out. I want to see it.
Yes.
I want to see that, because you will see me all over humping that log, because it's a Big Mac's log. Sorry, Tash. And then we might try his real log. Who knows? And then we will lift the stone, because I would love to make him horny. We're gonna make sure Tash is not there.
No, we're gonna make sure that she is.
Damn it. Yeah. So we will do that. Come and check us out. Check his gym out. It is a beautiful place. I've seen videos, and I cannot wait to lift that stone. Is Hank gonna be there?
I reckon I can twist his arm. I reckon
him and Bryce.
Yeah, I reckon I'll see if I can twist their arm. They live 2 hours north.
Okay.
But if they can come down, I'll make a day of it. I'll take you out to the coffee spot, introduce you to all the boys. We'll have some fun, and then take you to the gym.
I will really appreciate it.
Those boys are in town. We have to go and have coffee. We have
Oh,
a
yeah.
little treaty, and then we go and
And I have
get
to
some
meet your
training.
dog.
Hey?
I have to meet your dog.
Oh, dude, you will love
Yeah.
her. You'll fall
Yeah.
in love.
Yeah, I have to be. I'm a big softie for dogs.
Yeah, good.
I'm a
Very
big softie
sweet.
for dogs. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much, Mac. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Send me
you.
those links, please, and I will add them. This will come out not next week, a week after,
Mhm.
but I'll start putting clips out soon, so it just builds up a little bit of density. And then
Cool.
I don't think there's anything you have said that is going to offend anyone, so I'm not going to cut because I try and keep it as raw as possible.
Cool. Cool.
So because it just shows the genuine side of you.
Cool.
And then yeah, I'll cut up some clips. I am gonna do a clip with you and Tash. I might need a photo of you. Don't tell her that. It'll be a
Okay.
surprise.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
put
yeah,
a
cool.
I'll edit a little thing like a real thing because you talk so highly of her, and obviously she is the woman behind you supporting you, regardless of sponsors. You love your sponsors and they put in money, but she's also the one putting in her free time, her hours into you without getting recognition. And I think it's a great way
The
of
love.
yeah, the love. And yes, you can say you love her, but this is just a small thing that that
Cool.
shows. And you've openly admitted to the world that you love her, and you won't be the person. It's just a small gesture,
Yeah, cool. I appreciate
And I'll do
that, man.
that.
That's
And
really
I'll do
cool.
that. Yeah,
Awesome.
cool. No worries. Thank you so much, and I
Thank you, bro.
appreciate you being on the show. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, man.
See you, man.
See you, bro.
Bye.
You there?